All right.
Let me give you a little news flash.
I believe I can make anything work.
Oh, baby.
Now, what role am I going to be most useful in?
Is that what politics is for you right now?
Trying to get my 8 seconds on the bull like everybody is.
If she were listening in to us, would she be surprised to hear you say any of this?
She'd be a little surprised.
What's your favorite role?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, welcome to the show. Got a big one for you today. Arguably the next governor of the big state of Texas is on the show. Plus, we introduce you to a TikTok star and body positivity advocate, Sienna Mae Gomez, in our From A to Gen Z segment. That's all coming up. But first, as promised, our featured guest is an Academy Award-winning actor whose credits include Dallas Buyers Club, Interstellar, True Detective, of course, Dazed and Confused, so many more. And now he's a best-selling author thanks to his new memoir, Greenlights, which he's here to tell us all about. This is the man himself, Matthew McConaughey.
The Carlos Watson Show is brought to you by American Family Insurance.
Hey, Matthew.
Carlos,
How are you?
I'm good, man. Trying to get my 8 seconds on the bull like everybody is.
You got to. So how are you feeling about your Washington football team? You going into the fall feeling good or no?
Yes, I'm feeling good. I think we got the right head coach. We've taken some experiments that we didn't follow through on, and that didn't pan out for us as well.
How many of us in life would actually say, I've got something that's working really well, but I think that there could be something epic, and let me take a chance on a young, unproven guy? That was a bold move.
He rolled his dice and had belief in why he rolled them.
How much of that is you? What do you do in those moments where you could choose whether it's a movie role or something else?
My threshold for risk-taking it seems to be a little more.
And the Oscar goes to Matthew McConaughey.
Say you need a ride?
No, I got my own car, thanks.
Yeah, well, listen, you ought to ditch the geeks you're in the car with now and get in with us, but that's all right. We'll worry about that later.
Let me give you a little news flash. There ain't nothing out there can kill fucking Ron or Woodruff in 30 days.
You know, my upfall and my downfall is that I believe I can make anything work.
Oh, baby. Okay.
I can see an angle. Yeah. I've won in life doing that, but I've also done it where I'm like, well, why did you? That was a foolish risk. I really believe I can coach myself up and coach other people up.
Let me tell you this. The older you do get, the more rules are going to try to get you to follow. You just got to keep living, man.
I'm also loyal, though. I'm not one to go, well, you've been doing a great job. So it's hard for me to let someone go or to not choose someone who's got straight consistency as well.
Yeah.
But then I also do this. I've always said this, like in hires or what I believe in people. I like drafting athletes more than position players.
It also takes a certain mindset to go there, because for some people, order and organization and familiarity gives them actual peace.
I have disturbed my peace many times doing that, and tried to keep the peace many times by not doing that. A buddy of mine, you may know the book, but he talked about this book about the curve, the horseshoe, and then that we get into the 50s and we've been taking risk, and how long it's like is the curve, how short and abrupt is it? Meaning in the second half or the next 50, after 50, do we take more risk? Or sometimes it can be, no, I'm gonna let that bottom of that horseshoe be long because I don't wanna take as many risks because I've established myself. I got a family, 3, I got a career. I've built things that I feel like I've earned. I don't wanna be foolish with those things, but I also don't wanna lay on back and go, no, I got it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not calling it retirement, the last thing I want to do is retire.
Yeah.
But I need to be healthily scared each day.
Should your next leadership role ever include you, running for governor of this wonderful state, we'd be very happy for you. But don't answer that. I'm not asking that question.
I hear you.
I'm not asking.
It's a true consideration.
Is that what politics is for you right now? Could it be that buzz? New arena? Challenging?
I mean, challenging it would definitely be, but I don't know if that's the buzz.
Okay.
That if that's the embassy for my buzz, if that's the category for my buzz. Now, I do say this, as much as I say I like to be in the know, I also like to be in the know about what I don't know. I'm not interested in going and putting a bunch of Band-Aids on that are going to be ripped off as soon as I'm out. I'm interested in building something that can last, and I'm measuring what category that is. I don't know if that's politics.
I want to get into a leadership role in the next chapter of my life. Now, what role am I going to be most useful in?
That whole embassy of politics has some redefining of its purpose.
I think you have to have a residency for 5 years right now to run for governor. Have you looked into it that far?
How about 51 years?
Do you know whether or not you have the constitution to have those fights and talk about those things that may be uncomfortable or ahead of the curve or what have you?
I trust my core beliefs. I trust my core beliefs enough and my values enough to feel comfortable listening to an opposing one. We try to teach our kids delayed gratification, but we don't like to think about further than tomorrow.
Yeah.
We need immediate results.
Yeah.
Because this is what's going to be on my playbook. Well, how many things do actually leaders and politicians get done in there for that now become realized later on after they're in office? They never get the credit for those.
Yeah.
You only get credit, wins and W's and L's for what you did in that bank of those years. But there's things that have been done that are good for the society and the world that have been legacy choices that didn't come to fruition or very unpopular or deemed as losses at the time that showed up to be victories. We got to make some sacrifices for larger rewards tomorrow. I think the best example for my mind this last year is the damn dispute over the mask that got politicized.
Now remember, stay at home. But if you gotta go, strap it on like so.
I'm like going, come on, man. I'm not believing you're really scared of this little cotton thing. and I'm not believing you really feel that takes away your identity and your freedom. This is a short-term inconvenience for long-term freedom. Come on now. There's no data that says it's not a good thing. No data that says it's harmful.
Yeah.
Let's all take one for the team here. And we like to say we want to take one for the team. We like to say, oh, the value of human life is the epitome that we all... No, it's not. We won't admit it.
Yeah. What's the best advice you've either gotten or given about how to dream fearlessly and bring those dreams alive?
I'm still learning how to dream and realize it, look a dream in the eye, because I am very practical. I'm very much like handle what's in front of you, put your head down, and it's worked in many ways for me, you know? And it's like you get more courageous to dream and look over those horizons and go, oh, well, we can go further. We can go higher. We can go wider because this base is not built on sand.
Wait, are you a student or something?
I'm a writer. I'm writing a book.
Hey, Matthew, why did you decide to write the book?
So I've been keeping journals since I was 14, saving every napkin, beer coaster, matchbox, picture of whatever I wrote in my arm in a Sharpie for years, putting them in a Ziploc in case where I was flooded, you know? Well, I threatened to look in there and say, hey, I want to go see if I find a common denominator that's worth sharing. And I didn't have the courage to do it. For 15 years, I'd look over there and say, I dare you, and go, no, thank you. I'm going to look in there. I'm going to be embarrassed to who I was. I'm going to be ashamed of who I was. I'm going to feel guilty about who I was. I'm going to see an arrogant little know-it-all prick that I've been in the past, and I don't want to see that guy.
What are you writing?
The usual. Nouns, adverbs, adjective here and there.
What happened is I finally, for whatever reason, got the courage to go, all right, I want to write it, but I think I want help write. So I got a ghostwriter to come on. A guy who wrote some New York Times articles that I really thought, I was like, oh, this guy gets me. The New York Times had a rule, they pulled writers off of any celebrity memoir. So he was pulled, so I was all on my own again. So just as I'm sitting there on my own and I'm talking to my wife, I said, hey, Stephen got pulled. I think I need to find another ghost. And I looked at her and she was looking at me and I went, didn't say another word, and I went, I hear you.
Yeah.
We didn't even have to say it. I knew right then. I was like, no, this is the gift, Matthew.
Yeah.
You gotta go write it on your own.
Yeah.
So With the help of her also my wife giving me a kick in the backside saying, get out of here and don't come back till you got something. And me taking them all the journals away to solitary confinement, I started to look through them and see if there was something in there that was worth sharing. I remember saying this on day 4 to myself. I was like, look, you're gonna have some people that are gonna want to read this book because you wrote it, Matthew McConaughey. You're gonna also have some people that, even if it's really good, ain't gonna read it because you wrote it, Matthew McConaughey. So I said, the words on the page need to be worthy of sharing, even if it's signed by anonymous. That was my sort of North Star. So I lined up those stacks and said, well, now that's what my 36 years of journaling has told me it is, common denominators of the way I think and culture and stuff. I noticed that a lot of my successes, which I'll call green lights, happened because I engineered them.
First question that you probably have is, what's a green light? In our lives, they are an affirmation of our way. They're approvals, support, praise, gifts, gas on our fire, attaboys, and appetites.
They happen because of hard work ethic. They happen because of responsibility and accountability. Well, I also noticed that a lot of them I got was in the right place, right time, and the timing was right, and fate landed them in my hand. And I went, whoa, wow, thank you. I also noticed that my hardships, the red and yellow lights, the places where I was embarrassed and ashamed and was the arrogant little know-it-all prick that I thought I was, soon after those, or sometime after those in my life, they revealed a lesson. Hence the green light that comes out of every red and yellow light in life. I noticed I wouldn't be the man I am if my dad didn't die. Or I would have kickstarted trying to become a better man much later in life if I hadn't lost my dad.
Matthew, what do you think would have happened to your dad if you had been your dad's father and you raised him instead of the other way around?
I went back and looked at that and at my 23andMe at where I've come from. There wasn't no royalty in my background. They were riverboat gamblers. Right? I mean, there were some corny stories. I'm going, oh, wow, okay. I did break a bit of a chain here somewhere, somehow. But my dad was a traveling salesman. He was taught something that I still believe in. You're going to do something, don't half-ass it. Get out there and out-hustle. He got things done because he was a badass. But he was also, art was not a thing that was in our vernacular of the family. The creative side of us, I found out later after he moved on that he actually was a painter. That he actually, to have these sculptures I found and that he had done out of clay. And I'm like, when was he doing that, Mom? She was like, oh, he'd do that after you go to bed. We never knew. He followed, him and my mom moved 47 different places before we ended up in Longview, Texas. He was a gambler. He loved chasing a Ponzi scheme. You know, he died at 62 of a heart attack. And he's one of the longest living male McConaughey's in the family.
What would have happened to you, Matthew, if you hadn't met Camila?
I mean, on one hand, I like to say my path would have been very similar, but then, boy, as much as I unpack it, and I unpack how I got more courageous to be more myself when we came together, how I got more confidence, how I got more empathy, how I got more compassion, how I got more agency and trust in myself since I've come together with her, that I know she has my back. I know she brings out the best in me, and also we build a family, which all of a sudden, boy, your roots start getting deeper and wider.
If she were listening in to us, would she be surprised to hear you say any of this?
She'd be a little surprised. It's something I'm challenging myself with right now because I have a tendency to do that. I think things are, oh, it's obvious. But you know that? And I say, like, no. When things are going really well and you see beauty and your children or a friend or your wife does, let them know. And so I'm working on that. So thank you for reminding me of that, Carlos.
Yeah. Hey, Matthew, where's the most beautiful place you've ever been?
Mali, Africa. I know that's a home for me. I know I've been there before.
What was so special about it?
The common denominator of mankind I found very clear in the eyes of the Malayan people I met. The way they move, their patience, the caring, the empathy, the laughter, the sense of community, the way I was welcomed. Talk about reflection of myself that I got from them based on me, the man I am, only based off. My merit and my responses, the hugs when we said goodbye, the tears that run down our face, were only based on the relationship that we had on meeting each other as strangers. It was beautiful, and it was just something so true about it for me that is written and ingrained in my soul that I'm like, that is where I'm the most me, most sober of mind and spirit, most pure of mind and thought. and the most true. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to take you into a little territory. I sometimes call it rapid fire. You mind if I hit you with a few things? What's your favorite role that you've ever been blessed with?
Kenny Wells in Gold.
This gold business wrote me off years ago. But it's amazing how little gold dust can just change everything.
Damn it, Kenny.
He was who I thought my dad was. So I got to get closer to my father in playing that role for that 6 months because I was channeling not only who he was, but also the romantic impressions of who I thought he was when I was younger and he was my hero.
My favorite role of yours was when you were Jake in A Time to Kill.
Jake Begans in A Time to Kill.
What's your favorite book of all time?
Emerson's essays. I'm opening it up, 2 lines. Emerson's essay on Seraph Lines. I read 2 lines and I go, whoa.
If you were able to have a meal with anybody, who would you really look forward to? Who would you love to have a meal with?
I'd love to have a nice, slow, sumptuous, fun dinner with Jesus Christ, man. At the very least, that is one cool dude and prophet.
Be fearless! We can do it! I believe in you! We can do it faster!
Our home is the training ground for her dreams policy. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Man, I really enjoy you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Carlos. And I hope we keep learning in this adventure through life and have a means to understand it and then hopefully continue to share it.
I thought I might get Christina on this one.
Well, I really liked it. He's just such a cool guy. His demeanor, the way he talks. I really liked all of his stories about his dad. You can really tell that he had a really big influence on him. And one thing I wondered was, maybe he just has a lot of stories to tell, but the way that he was telling those stories, it was like he was telling them for the first time. So I was wondering how many times he's told those stories.
I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Ever since I first heard about it. And I forget the name of the character, but his character in Gold, oh, perfection.
One of the things that I really liked was the stories of his dad. And that question that you asked about what would have changed about your dad if you were the one that raised him? It got me thinking a lot about say my parents or my grandparents.
I truly love what he's giving as an actor, as a writer now. It's beautiful for humanity, especially for Americans, especially for this time.
Hey, that was Matthew McConaughey. I really hope you enjoyed it. Been a big fan of his acting, going back to Dazed and Confused, all the way through A Time to Kill, True Detective, so much more. Love the way that he talked about his wife. Really appreciate what he shared about his dad. What an interesting guy. And love that he got that opportunity in the movie Gold to kind of explore that in a very different way. I definitely could see him running for office. Not a given that he will do it, but I could see him doing it and maybe connecting with people in a different way. Be sure to pick up a copy of Greenlights for yourself. All right, listen, now it's time for our From A to Gen Z. It's our segment we've been doing here on the show, featuring iHeartRadio's Sammy J and some of the greatest Gen Z talent that's out there. Let's see who Sammy J has for us today. Take a look.
Hey. Whoa. Hey. Hey.
Hey, Sammy.
Hey, Carlos. How are you?
Let's jump into our segment. And I should say, you are batting 1,000. You are introducing me and us to the best, most interesting people. So thank you. Who do I get to meet today?
I am so excited to introduce you to Sienna Mae Gomez. Social media can be a really toxic place where people portray a highlight reel of their life. Something about Sienna that is so refreshing and authentic that I aspire to be more like on social media is she's just herself, which is, there's not many people like that, where they just embrace who they are and show that in all sides.
Let's bring her on. There she is, Digital Magic.
Hey.
Hey, Sienna, nice to meet you. Now, Sienna, you picked up 10 million new followers during COVID on TikTok. Is that even humanly possible? Did that happen?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I had a very rapid growth over COVID. Over the few months, a few videos of mine did really well.
I should probably FaceTime my shawty, oh yeah.
That ain't the baby, that's my baby.
What did you do with your stomach and a video on TikTok that like got millions of views?
I was actually in this kitchen right here. My dad had made dinner and I was like super bloated. So I had these low-waisted sweatpants on and like a little top, and I was doing a dance actually to a really popular song at the time. And I ended up posting the video, and it was just like of me dancing with my stomach out, and I had no intentions of it going viral or, you know, anyone ever even seeing it. And a lot of people loved the video and they commented super positive things and were thankful that, you know, I was posting something that people could relate to.
So Sienna, where do you go from here?
I just finished filming a show that is going to be on Netflix. It was actually about a lot of TikTok creators and just our lives and how unusual and new this whole space is. I'm also just doing a lot of cool partnerships with, like, I'm doing Levi's and Maybelline and ambassadors for them in the year 2021. And then something I'm just super excited for that kind of goes along the realms of the, you know, body confidence message that I'm trying to put out there is I'm coming out with a bathing suit line this summer, which I'm super excited for.
I need one of those. Just saying.
I will send you 25. I will send you all of them. That line is just geared more towards, you know, being inclusive for all body types and having women and girls and anyone be able to wear something that they feel confident in at the beach this summer. And yeah.
Do you think that there's been change in how young women and girls in particular are talking about bodies or their bodies?
The perspective has changed a lot, and a lot of people now are a lot more vulnerable and authentic with their not only content but just like being open and honest about how they feel and their insecurities and their flaws. So many girls have joined and anyone can really be a part of it. So it's so beautiful to just see, you know, women really embracing not only their flaws but their strengths as well, and just being able to speak openly and honestly about the issues that we face, you know, growing up. A lot of people make social media a highlight reel. People are definitely starting to open up a little bit more about what's really going on.
Just an example, like stretch marks. People are like finally starting to talk about that, and they're being embraced instead of something to be hidden.
Yeah, stretch marks, cellulite. There's so many different things that and videos that I've seen that I'm just like, wow, I have that too.
Sienna, I know I read that some folks were pushing back a little bit on the body positivity piece, and they were saying, hey, hang on a second. Sienna, when we think body positivity, she actually may be closer to some of the norms than other people.
So I think I always get told in my comments either you're not big enough or you're not small enough or blah, blah, blah. And people are always going to try to tell me and other, you know, creators what we can and cannot do. But I think that I just try to step out of the picture and kind of look at what is happening. And if I'm helping people, then that's really all that matters. And, you know, as a teenage girl and as teenage girls, our weight is constantly fluctuating. We have self-image problems. A lot of people have eating issues. Like this is a serious issue, and it's not fair for anybody to, you know, really tell me or any other creator that we are allowed or aren't allowed to be part of a movement that is positive about your body. That's what it is. It's body positivity, just being confident in your own self. And I think if you look at it that way, it's just a lot healthier mindset. You know, I always love to just shout out other creators, some that are curvier than me, some that are smaller than me, somebody that anybody can relate to. You know, there's so many creators online. I am not the only one that is loving and part of this movement. So if you don't like me, that's okay. Don't follow me. Just find somebody else that you resonate with more. And I think that's just kind of the way that I try to perceive it. But for all of the comments that I get that say, thank you so much for everything you do, and I see myself in you, that's what makes it worth it.
Hey, thank you guys both. And Sammy, you know I appreciate you just continuing to introduce us to all the people we should meet.
Of course, Carlos, thank you. You're the best.
Hey, that was from A to Gen Z. My big thanks to Sammy J and Sienna Mae Gomez for their time today. Appreciate you both. Be sure to check out Sienna on TikTok and look for her Nessie swimwear collaboration. All kinds of good stuff in that. All right, and like that, we're out of time. We say goodbye, but be sure to like and subscribe. And you know what else? Be sure to tune into the podcast. Make your ears a little bit happy. See you next time. Be safe.